The following may contain offensive language, adult humor, and or content that some viewers may find offensive. The views and opinions expressed by any one speaker does not explicitly or necessarily reflect or represent those of Mark Radulich or W2M Network. Please listen with caution, or don't listen at all.
TV party tonight! What? TV party tonight! Oh,
We got nothing better to do than watch TV and have a couple of brews.
don't want to talk about anything else.
We don't want to know.
We're dedicated to our favorite shows!
Oh, my circuit!
Everybody loves Hypnotoad.
Scary dog!
Pearson at Blurnsville.
Futurama!
Hello. Good evening and welcome to TV Party Tonight. I'm your host, Alexis Hejna, and joining me, his fingers are like arrows, his arms like iron, his feet like spears, Mr. Jesse Starcher.
Oh my goodness, what an introduction. I am so glad we get to come back here and finish things out before our next adventure hits the Netflix airwaves. I've been waiting to talk about this for 4 months now. We didn't skip a month or anything, did we?
Nope, we didn't.
Okay.
Though I got to tell you, when I was picking my introduction, it was between that or I was going to say he said he'd rather die than eat pineapple on pizza, which I don't know if you like pineapple on pizza. I don't know. I don't
I've tried it. I don't hate it.
See, I've never tried pineapple on pizza, but I've had Hawaiian pork chops, and those are like so super good.
Oh yeah.
So it's like I'm not going to judge anyone for that. And the third option was, and if he only could, he'd make a deal with God and get him to swap our places. Because let's face it, the real winner of season 4 is not Elle, it's not Hopper, it's not Vecna, it's freaking Kate Bush.
Kate Bush, like out of nowhere. My goodness, that song just dominated. I know we'll talk a little bit more about it because it definitely has it's tied in with some of the greatest moments of this season for sure.
Absolutely. The scene of her song playing over Max's escape is considered by many to be one of the top episodes of television of the last 20 years.
Wow. Yeah.
It is going up there.
Yep. Man, oh man, that's crazy. That's good stuff.
Good stuff. Absolutely. And yes, folks, we are talking Stranger Things season 4. We are getting so close to the season finale. Getting excited.
Yeah. We got is it Wednesday or Thursday that the new season 5 is going to start? I can't remember.
Oh, you think I've got that stuff up? All I got is season 4 stuff.
I feel like
think I did my homework on this?
I feel like it was Wednesday, which felt kind of weird because I thought maybe they would wait until Thanksgiving and do it on Thursday. But I feel like next Wednesday is going to be the first part of what we're going to get of the finale.
Yes, November 26th, we get first 4 episodes. And then on Christmas Day, we get 3 more episodes. And then on New Year's Eve, we get the finale.
Man, oh man. Just cannot wait. But I mean, this right here that we're going to get into, I feel, is the Infinity War getting ready for Endgame.
That's a good way to put it. But yes, Stranger Things season 4 debuted on May 27, 2022. This was also the first season where they didn't air all of the episodes at once, breaking it up, giving us a ton of cliffhangers. God knows the Duffer Brothers know how to lead their viewers into suspense.
Oh, yeah.
Once again, starring Winona Ryder, David Harbour, Millie Bobby Brown, Finn Wolfhard, Gatton Mazzarato, Caleb McLaughlin, Noah Schnapp, Sadie Fink, Natalie Dyer, among others. Also, bringing in this season, Eduardo Franco, Jamie Campbell Bower, and Joseph Quinn.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
And
Unforgettable.
we'll get to him in a second, but yes, this season starts off in March of 1986. It is 8 months after the events of the third season, 8 months since the Starcourt Mall was destroyed in a fire, because Lord knows we're never actually going to tell Hawkins, oh, by the way, your mayor sold you out for a Russian base.
Nope, not going to happen.
So we have the Byers family, that is Joyce, her sons, Jonathan and Will, and also 11.
Yep.
Who has moved in with them after the death of her adopted father, Sheriff Hopper. They have moved out to California. And things are kind of rough for them. Joyce is working at home selling Encyclopedia Britannica. Oh my God.
One of the, premier remote jobs in 1986. You want to work from home. She was showing you how to do it.
Did you know anyone who actually had the full Encyclopedia Britannica set?
No. I remember I had A through C, which I assume is probably like your introductory crack to that. And they were like, okay, you want the next ones? Okay, well, it's only $89 a volume or something like that. It's crazy prices if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But the whole thing.
Remember. No. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the whole thing. No, I think probably the library, my local library.
See, I remember when Encyclopedia Britannica on CD-ROM came out.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Yep,
early 90s,
like,
if I remember correctly.
You're gonna make my school project so easy.
Then, like 2 years later, here's a new thing called the internet. Oh,
I know, right? Oh my God, that freaking giant ass computer monitor that we had on the hutch in our kitchen / living room. And I would plug in the CD-ROM of Encyclopedia Britannica or Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. That was my favorite computer game when I was a kid.
Fun stuff right there. My goodness. My goodness.
Constantly lost because I never got the actual warrant before I encountered the bad guy. So I suck. But we also have, we have our Jonathan, who is spending the whole time smoking weed because he's
what a change. I don't know. I never thought of him as I thought there was going to be a few things different with Jonathan, but I wasn't expecting him to become full on stoner, which he does. But we get our introduction to his good friend Argyle, which is probably one of the brighter spots of the season too.
I have been trying to look this up. If they gave the actor who played Argyle special contact lenses, because he always has bloodshot eyes, which of course is because he's always stoned. But I'm just gotta know. It's like they did give him special contacts for that. I just want to know what they did to get that look.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
did he just embraced the stoner role. It just oozed off of him for sure.
And he is hilarious and he's very useful. He really does come through for them on a lot of things, even in ways that you don't see coming. His idea of how to create a sensory deprivation tank out of a pizza dough freezer tank, because he knows that it's big enough for L, and he knows they have more than enough salt at the pizza place. It's like, that's actually kind of a stroke of genius.
Yeah, he came through. Luckily they had a surfer boy wherever they were at. I think they were out in the desert in like Nevada or something, but luckily they had one.
I didn't know there was a surfer boy out here.
Schmacking.
Yeah, it's always schmacking. Not smacking, it's schmacking.
Schmacking.
No, Argyle is a lot of fun. He's a really fun character. And yes, they did release limited edition Surfer Boy pizzas in the freezer department for a while. Never tried one.
That's fun.
So I'm a DiGiorno girl. What can I say?
Try before you deny, bro.
I still love his speech that he answers the phone with when the FBI guys call to order the pizza, and it's just how much like try for you, and they're just like, what the hell kind of pizza place are we calling to?
What I love is the fact that Surfer Boy Pizza only hires stoners. Like,
I know,
this
right?
whole franchise, he walks in and there's like another guy behind the counter who is completely stoned off his mind. And then, of course, they introduced him to the purple. Oh, I cannot remember what they called it.
Purple palm tree delight. Because you see, and then I had a flashback to us talking about DC meets Looney Tunes, and one of us saying, "Go smoke a bowl of grape ape."
Shoot. If there were branding opportunities at your local weed store,
someone would have capitalized on that.
Please do. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, makes your cares float away like dandelion seeds on the wind.
I can't believe how much we've quoted Argyle. That's unreal.
That's the fun of the character, and credit that a show like this, you really start to worry when you added what is basically a comic relief character, and it is very risky about whether or not that character is going to basically come off as annoying or useless.
Right.
Think about like Disney movies. Oh, okay. No, I got the perfect example. If he becomes a Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, yeah. You're not for sure.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the trilogy, you are not a Jar Jar Binks fan. And you're glad that he didn't show up in the next two movies that much. So,
well, according to George Lucas, his name was utterly ruined because he was the one who suggested Palpatine get the emergency powers. So basically, he kind of got run out of Coruscant.
Unbelievable. Jar Jar.
And spent the last of his life in petty shame. Credit to Ahmed Best, though, for making his comeback like he did. He keeps talking about wanting to do a one-man show about what he went through with the crap that he got for playing Jar Jar Binks. And I keep saying, my God, I want to see that.
Yeah, I bet you that was traumatizing. I mean, really?
Absolutely. He said he got suicidal. It got so bad.
That's sad.
He got blamed for what was not his fault.
No, I mean, you're just an actor trying to do a role, for crying out loud.
And
Wow.
And that's what I'm saying with Argyle is that it could have just easily have been oh my God, why are we focusing on this character? But he not only is his humor more organic, but it does fit the narrative, and he does become very useful to the characters. I love that he is the one. I mean, he is the one who gets them the ride out of there. Maybe it's because he's constantly stoned, but he doesn't question too much about what's going on. He's willing to go along with what his best friend, his only friend. He openly says Jonathan is his only friend.
Yeah. Wow.
He points out the military tracks so he knows where for them to go. He figures a lot of stuff out. He is really useful, and it feels natural. It doesn't feel tacked on at all.
Yeah. I mean, good character, and for a smaller bit character too. That's in this season, and one of the better ones that got introduced. I'm curious if we'll see him. I don't know if we'll see him in season 5 or not.
I am not sure. Let me take a look and see if Wikipedia's got him.
It seems like the way Hawkins appears to be locked down. The only thing I can think of is like maybe he did not get out, but who knows?
Yeah, I'm not seeing him credited at the moment, but it's Wikipedia, so not that
Has this dude been in any other roles?
He is a stand-up comedian, actually, in addition. He's been in a couple of things. The film Booksmart, he did a voice in the Gabby's Dollhouse.
Okay.
Sorry. No. Okay. So slight offset tangent here. So we have ads on our streaming services to cut down on the cost a little bit. We're trying to get our budget a little more under control. And what you watch on a lot of the streaming services will affect what your commercials are.
Okay.
So you know me, and you know how much I love classic cartoons.
Yep.
So when I've got HBO Max on, I'm often watching Scooby-Doo, Flintstones, Jets. I love watching those classics. And because of that, I'm getting ads all aimed at younger kids.
Okay.
Because I guess that counts as age, it's like, okay, so this must be a child watching.
Yeah.
So here's children's advertising. And the Gabby's Dollhouse movie was constantly advertised, and I had to watch it so many times. I'm like, oh, shoot me,
I
shoot
do
me,
not
shoot me.
even. I've never seen the advertisement for it. Didn't know it existed. That's crazy.
If you don't, unless you get commercials on HBO Max, you're not going to see it again.
How long
It's
ago
aimed
did that come out? Just recently, or is it even out yet?
Yeah, I think it was like fall, actually, early
All right.
fall or summer.
Gabby's
Yeah.
Dollhouse.
Yeah, Kristen Wiig played the villain in it, from what I saw.
No.
So
Okay.
yeah, it's like, look, nothing against any kids who like it, but it's so annoying because you just want to scream at your TV. Just because I'm watching Scooby Doo does not mean I'm a little kid.
Oh man.
All right. So let's go ahead and talk about this. So starting off, our characters are now in high school. So things are a little bit different. Again, Will and Elle are off at school in this town in California. And Elle is having some serious problems fitting in. This poor girl, obviously, growing up without socializing, she doesn't understand a lot of social cues. It's very different for her. So she has pretty much no friends. And she is getting bullied to death by a girl named Angela. And I was having serious PTSD flashbacks watching that shit.
Mean Girls, I tell you what. Yeah, she wants 11 wants nothing but to kind of fit in, and number one, moving from a place that you kind of grew up in. I mean, she didn't exactly have the greatest childhood, but moving from Hawkins to another place is not easy. And you're moving out to 1986 California.
The pastels and the acid wash denim.
Valley Girls, and then of course, yes, we have Angela, who is this ruthless, like manipulative bully who, well, I mean, it's kind of good to see how this all gets resolved, but my goodness, does it get resolved violently. But you're kind of, during this time, as you're watching her Elle go through all this, you're hoping that she could just unleash her powers, and then she tries. She doesn't have them anymore, but when she makes the mistake of trying to use them in front of like everybody outside of the school, sticking her hand out and nothing happening, you could not help but feel for 11 there, especially like, when she was talking about her dad, let's talk about your hero, and she had to go up and give a presentation. She made a great, diorama, and she talked about Hopper. And yeah, it ends up being something that gets destroyed. And of course that kind of sets her over the edge, but it just leads to more embarrassing moments. So it's sad. And yes, PTSD, I could understand because, what would you say she is? This is your high school, you said, right? So
they're freshmen. So I would say 14. Maybe 15.
Yeah. It's not a good age. And especially if you're the new person in town, it's especially back then, the spotlight was on you. So,
yeah, especially when she gets called a snitch. That actually happened to me more than once because I was the target of a lot of mean girls, and I had more than one case where I got physically beat up.
Jeez. And
when the teacher stepped in, the girls would be like, "Tell them we were just goofing. Tell them we were just goofing around. Tell them we're just playing." And of course, I didn't say a damn thing. And then, they would get even angry at me because I didn't defend them. So yeah, when she's like, when they're all calling her a snitch, like, again, it's like, I am remembering what that was like. And it was hell.
I fear for, when you got your own kids, you worry about that for them. Luckily, we haven't had too many incidents like that, but I think things have gotten a little bit better since our day and age, back then, somewhat anyway. I think, and I really think a lot of it is attributed to the fact that we have shows like this, movies as well, that kind of point out like how ridiculous bullying is. And I mean, when you look at it, there have been, the first season, we had Mike, who was being it was Mike. Mike was being bullied.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, well, Mike, Lucas, and Dustin were all bullied. Yeah.
Yeah. So unfortunately, that was that was a thing of the times back then, and I don't think it's completely gone. That's for sure. Now it's just kind of moved digitally.
Yeah.
So, but I think that as far as school goes, they understand it's a problem and it has to be watched out for. And a lot of kids, hopefully, avoid becoming a freaking bully stereotype.
Hopefully. So we got that going on. We got back in Hawkins. Mike and Dustin and Lucas have joined a proper D&D group at school, the Hellfire Club, which
Yes.
I am actually wearing my Hellfire Club necklace.
Oh, very
tonight.
nice. Very nice.
But Lucas is straying further from the group because he's discovered he actually has a app for sports, and he has joined the basketball team, and he is getting on the side of the popular kids.
Yep.
And popularity is very addictive, and he's tired of getting picked on, and he likes that the cool kids like him, and it gets really hard because he's starting to stray further and further away from his true friends.
Yeah, I identify with Lucas a lot this season because I wasn't great at sports or anything like that, but I ran the middle ground when it came to like the nerds and the popular kids. I knew pretty much everybody in just about every group. So yeah, when you start kind of falling in with the popular crowd, it's kind of hard not to drift away from the other friends that you have in the other crowd that aren't really mixing with them. And that's a lot of what this is watching Lucas, who's, finding these new friends, they aren't exactly the greatest people, that's for sure. But, he wants to make new friends. He also wants to be popular. He ends up being like the kid that scores the final bucket, winning the game, and
Championship game to boot.
Yeah, that's huge for a kid. So again, dealing with changes, that's a lot of the themes throughout these seasons. You're going from middle school to high school, and what are you doing there? There's a big change there, and how are these kids going to navigate that? So that's Lucas's arc through this season is great. I think it's probably one of his. I mean, it's probably one of his best arcs out of all 4 seasons, in my opinion.
Definitely. Lucas, I feel, has sometimes kind of been left on the wayside of character development because I feel a lot of times it focuses more on Dustin, Will, and Mike. Lucas got his big boost when he started dating Max, and even then Max was kind of more the prominent character than him. This is the season that the actor playing Lucas really gets to shine, and he gets to develop. And credit, he is going to be doing a voiceover work for an upcoming, I don't know if it's DreamWorks, but it's an upcoming animated film. It actually looks pretty interesting. So congratulations to him for that. Glad to see. I just love seeing all these kids that we've watched grow, and now we get to see their careers expanding to bigger and better projects.
Yeah, for sure.
So we got that, and we got that with the boys joining the Hellfire Club, led by the greatest new character in Stranger Things. All glory to Eddie Munson.
Oh my goodness, Eddie Munson. I remember when we first started watching this back, and when did you say this dropped? 2022 or 2023? I can't remember. So 2022. So I remember when the first episode hit, and I was like, as we were going through the episode, I am not going to like how they characterize this guy. And as we progress through that first episode, all of a sudden you start to realize that, like, he is kind of a loudmouth. This is his 4th senior year or something like that. He's
talking about trying to graduate and everything. It's like, didn't you say that last year and the year before that? So he's been a senior for at least 3 years, if not more.
And this is going to be his year. But I did not like what I was thinking we were going to get. And of course, again, expectations were subverted. By the end of this, you start to realize, by the end of the first episode, you start to realize kind of how cool Eddie is. And, he's talking to the cheerleader who's having some issues, wanting to buy some drugs. And he's Yeah, he's a drug dealer, but he's also really kind of down to earth, I would say, and very, very grounded, but just kind of a fun loving guy, in my opinion, who isn't going to be influenced by the others around him. And this of course leads into one of the other big themes, is Satanic Panic. That was so okay. Let me just stop real quick. First time I ever played a tabletop. I guess you would. I don't know if you call it tabletop. This was just pad. Yeah. I mean, this was just pad and paper when we were playing. It was D&D was the first time I ever played D&D. I was probably 16, 17 years old. I then started before that though. I had picked up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles role playing games, so I'd played some of that. But I would be lying if I told you that there wasn't a voice in the back of my head saying, oh, you're doing the devil's work. Now, it also could be the voice that was upstairs, because my stepdad was very religious, and he would, now granted, the good thing about Bob, my stepdad, he would not, just be overbearing with Christian values or anything like that. I think I may have told you the time that he took the Weird Al tape that had Nature Trail to Hell on it, and he unspooled it. That was probably the worst thing he's ever done to me. Ouch. Just because he just pulled it out. He's like, I can't believe you're listening to this stuff. Now, after that incident, things really kind of calmed down. But regardless, he would still every once in a while needle me and be like, oh, you praising the devil tonight? And all we were doing was just playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles role-playing game. So I was really scared of playing D&D. Satanic Panic was a thing. And as much as it really, kind of shines in this season, it really didn't fully influence me, but it was always back in the back of my mind. So obviously there was some element of it as I was growing up that influenced me as to whether if I should, or am I doing something wrong? I'm not. You're playing a game. And it took me a while to get there, but there are a lot of people that were absolutely afraid. The Tom Hanks movie didn't help either. Whatever that, I can't remember the name of that movie, where he is playing the game and then ends up jumping off of a building or something, but that doesn't help.
I remember that. Yeah.
But anyway, so just again, Satanic Panic was a thing. I experienced it. I was, but it took me a while to actually kind of get over it and realize, there's nothing here. And I don't understand why people jump to such conclusions about the occult and everything like that. And that's what I loved about Eddie, is that he didn't care. Hey, we're having a good time. He understood that right on the surface. And of course, the rest of the Hellfire Club did too, which was made up of, some pretty cool guys, and then some really over the top weirdos in there too, that were, we could see him maybe one or two scenes. But either way, Eddie Munson, I mean, just right off the bat, subverted expectations. By the end of episode 1, I'm like, okay, this guy is actually kind of cool. He's trying to help the cheerleader. He's not going to try and take advantage of her or anything like that. And then things continue to roll after that with Eddie.
Absolutely. Now, I was a little young for the Satanic Panic. I did grow up in a pretty religious house, but I didn't get to play Dungeons and Dragons as a kid, just because there weren't a lot of groups in my area that played it. Right. So, I know there were some that I've learned about since then, but they didn't really broadcast it out. So it's not like there were more Magic the Gathering groups than Dungeons and Dragons group. That was a big thing in my area growing up.
I was going to say that was probably my year spent from 93 or 94 to about 2000 was playing Magic the Gathering.
We've still got boxes of Magic the Gathering cards upstairs. My husband still collects them.
I was going to say, take a look. Go to, I think it's Magic Fish, or I can't remember what it's called, but I looked up some prices of some cards from 30 years ago. Oh. I mean, it's insane. Some of those cards, what they'll go for right now. But
yeah, if we ever find the Black Lotus card, there will be signs.
I think the best one I got a dual lands, and it's probably the most worthy card that I have. But that's the only time I'm ever going to get to brag about it is right now. I'll never bring it up in probably the next 10 years. So
Yeah, there have been all these studies on the Satanic Panic. We did discuss it a little bit on last year when Mark Radulich and Dorian Price and I covered the series Hysteria that premiered on Peacock with Bruce Campbell. Plug.
Yeah.
That was a fun series, and it was a lot of fun to talk about the Satanic Panic because that show takes place in the 80s and is about, among other things, a high school band that says, hey, let's pretend to be Satanists so we can try to make a name for ourselves.
It was a way to do it.
Definitely.
Hey,
I mean, let's face it. Ozzy Osbourne, Gwar, Ghost.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Gwar, I was absolutely terrified of. And we just I think we did something on the Metal Hammer of Doom for Gwar, and I watched a documentary on him, and I cannot believe how ridiculous my fear of just being, listening to some music was. These guys weren't the greatest musicians, but my goodness, the artistry that goes into their like costumes and stuff, unbelievable.
And what's hilarious is that if you actually hear them talk, they're the most laid-back dudes in existence.
Right.
John Oliver just did a piece on public broadcasting and how the government's cutting funds to it, which included an interview with, I think it's the lead guitarist for Gwar, in full costume regalia.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about the importance of public broadcasting and Bob Ross.
That's beautiful.
And Sesame Street and and Mr. Rogers, just like not what you expect to hear, but it is so fun. And for the record, he does give a really great speech about the importance of public broadcasting. So there is that.
Good.
So, but yes, Joseph Quinn as Eddie is amazing. He is a nonconformist. He puts on his very first episode. It's like, so if you're into band or sports or theater or cheerleading, you're fine. But when you play a game that focuses on magic and mythology, all of a sudden you're a monster. And Joseph Quinn, if anyone's career has gotten a massive boost from this show, it is him. One season, and this dude is already become the Hollywood hot ticket. Got cast in the third Quiet Place film, and he is a Marvel superhero now. He is Johnny Storm. And I remember when the casting announcement was made, and I could already hear everyone groaning over Pedro Pascal fatigue. Didn't know enough about the girl playing Sue Storm. I was happy to see Richie from The Bear was going to be playing the thing, but when I saw Joseph Quinn was cast as Johnny, I'm like, yes, perfect. No notes.
No notes.
And yes, he is freaking phenomenal. He's like, I know a lot of people have complaints with that movie. I know that there are some issues with it. None of them revolve around Johnny Storm. He was perfect in that movie.
Good.
Did you not see it?
No, I have. It is on the agenda. I know
your eternal agenda. But yeah, so
it's pretty long.
But yes, we have our scene with Chrissy, the head cheerleader, who's dating the captain of the basketball team, who is dealing with trauma. Poor girl is bulimic. She comes from, I don't really know if it's like a real abusive household or if her mother just puts extra pressure on her to be skinny. I know that's the case with a lot of bulimia. And she goes to Eddie looking for drugs to help numb the pain. And she is starting to have hallucinations, which, she's not certain about. So she goes after the championship game to Eddie's trailer. He says he's going to give her something a little stronger if he can find it. And that's when the Duffer Brothers to say, hey, last season we channeled The Thing. Well, we're going to channel Nightmare on Elm Street this time. And holy crap, this season does not waste any time throwing us into the nightmare fuel.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, when Chrissy levitates, and I mean the real fear comes over Eddie at that point. He's like, holy crap, what is going on? Because number one, we got the meme prior to that, Chrissy wake up. But then, she levitates, and then he watches her bones break right in front of him. And her, it's horrifying when you watch it because, the body's not supposed to have been that way. Her jaw breaks, her eyes it is disgusting and it is scary. which is a great way to, like, I think that's where we end our first episode, right? Is like her dead body just falling to the floor, and wow. Yeah, folks, you're I hope you're ready to be frightened here. Scary.
This season, they are not letting up on the horror. And to top it off, fans were also shocked about this because the Duffers would later admit it. The actors playing Eddie and Chrissy, the scene of them talking in the woods, which she's looking to buy drugs from, their chemistry is unbelievable. They talk about this middle school talent show that they were both in, and she goes, he's like, it's like, you're the head cheerleader, I'm the nobody who plays D&D, but we did share a stage once when we were younger. And he talks about it. She's like, oh my God, I remember your band. And it is so much fun. And you expect these two are going to be like boyfriend and girlfriend or something. So to see it abruptly cut out like that, the Duffer Brothers admitted they regretted writing that, because after they saw the chemistry and how well the two actors played off each other, they're like, damn it, we could have milked this for a lot longer.
They could have. They really could have. Wow.
But it's a death scene that to me harkens to Drew Barrymore in Scream? When she and oh my God, Psycho.
Oh, okay. Janet Leigh.
Janet Leigh, thank you. I kept wanting to see Janet Curtis because Jamie Lee Curtis is her daughter. Like, no, that's not her. She took the name from her dad. Wrong that last name. So thank you for that. For some reason, I couldn't adjust my brain there. But again, it's like those deaths were totally came out of nowhere, and you did not expect them to happen to characters like that so quickly. Yeah. No other season. We've had abrupt things happen in the first episodes of the seasons, but this is the first time we have had a gruesome, terrifying death like this. The scenes of her hallucinating, running through the house. Her father's got his eyes and mouth stitched. All the windows and doors are boarded up. And our first look at our big baddie, Vecna.
I fully believe that as these seasons go on, the horror gets amped up just a little bit more because the kids are becoming more adult, and now we can kind of also, amp up the adult themed humor here as well. I mean, just the rated R scariness, I guess I would say. So yeah, Vecna, what a villain we have here. Probably I think it's the best. I don't know if you're going to try and argue one, not the Mind Flayer. Oh my goodness, the Demogorgon from season 1, which is just so strange and out there. Like, what in the world is this thing? But as much as we get Vecna in this season, compare that to the Demogorgon of the first season, which you don't get much at all. You get way more Vecna than you need to really, just nail down the impact this villain has.
Exactly. And so many horror films, again, we compare this to Nightmare on Elm Street, but you didn't see Freddy in all of his glory until later in the movie. He was mostly in the shadows. You could see the outlines of his face, and you knew he was horribly burned, and you could see the knives on his hands, but you never got a really good look at him until later in the film. Vecna, no, you see him right in front. Credit, that is practical makeup.
Nice.
There is a little CGI touches to make it look like various parts of the vines around his arm slithering and moving, but they did it behind the scenes. They did a video sped up showing Jamie Campbell Bower in the makeup chair and having all that crap put on his face.
Wow.
So yeah, it's all real.
That's and it comes through well. Like I am a firm believer in practical effects.
Oh yeah,
can make it a lot more scary. Doesn't have the chance of taking you out. So yeah, that's awesome.
And Campbell Bower as Vecna, not just as Vecna, as Henry Creel as one. Oh my God, he is another level of terrifying. People may have remembered him as Anthony from Tim Burton's Sweeney Todd. He was one of the Vampire Council in the Twilight movies. He's been a couple of other things. And I just remember seeing him as the orderly with the permed hair and kind of creepy, but not really, a little intense. But the minute he sweeps his hair back, and you could see he's got a really strong facial features, crazy sharp cheekbones and jaw, and the way he's got those big eyes, and he's just staring at you. It's like, oh my God, you are the epitome of stranger danger, dude.
Yeah, he does a fine job. This is his first appearance right here in Stranger Things. So yeah, I agree with you. When you see Vecna and you see oh my goodness, Henry at the, I almost could not remember what happened as we were getting the flashback scenes to the lab, and I was like, oh, who is this guy again? Who is this? And then it started coming together. I'm like, this is the guy that kills everybody. Oh yeah, this is Henry. Oh, okay. I got it now. Anyway, yeah, and he plays the reserved like presence of somebody who's kind of like a lab assistant really well until things go sideways, and then he becomes one. And man, what he, again, just like you said, he can be terrifying when he needs to be.
Definitely, because he's an orderly, but he convinces Elle that he's got a tracking chip in his neck.
Yes.
And because he's prisoner there too, but because he helped Elle get away from some bullies, she's willing to help him. And it turns out that is not a tracking chip. That is a power dampening chip, although I don't know how the heck that works. But she gets it removed, and yeah, Henry reveals, hey, guess what? I'm a total psychopath, and just goes on a bloody rampage. And the scene of him, we get sort of an interesting intertwining of the flashbacks, because at the same time that Elle is having her vision, her memory of what Henry told her, because she didn't remember it. She had blocked it out thanks to trauma. At the same time, Vecna is revealing to Nancy what's going on and what he plans to do. Mm-hmm. So we get his backstory mixed with what Elle's experiencing at the same time, and you cannot look away when this is happening. I still remember when this first premiered and this was going on, and they scroll down and you see the 001 on Vecna's arm. I was screaming on the couch going, oh my God, oh my God. Just one of those stop the world moments.
Yeah, Stranger Things has a great way of like really evoking emotion sometimes. And just like you were talking about, like how masterful is that to tell both of those stories at the same time, and essentially two different time periods. But you're basically getting the whole layout there of everything. And yeah, you're right. It's one of those moments that captivate you, and you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe it. That's good stuff.
Yeah, and we get a nice little introduction also to what had happened thanks to Mr. Nightmare on Elm Street himself, Robert Englund playing Henry's father.
Yeah. Boy, that was a fun reveal, because I had no idea that was coming. I just, again, they're going down there, Nancy and
Robin,
almost called her Barb, and Barb hasn't been around for a while. Nancy and Robin, I can never remember Robin's name. Nancy and Robin are going down there pretending they're wanting, they're some type of, I don't know.
They're psychology students. Side note, that scene of them walking down there, undoubtedly inspired by Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs. Yeah.
Sorry, it's like, and just past that next cell is a cannibal, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, his Robert Englund showing up, eyes stitched. You could just tell he's traumatized. He plays it so great. What a reveal! What a cameo! So it's so good. It was good to see him doing this. It was great.
I think it also threw a lot of people for a loop, because we knew he was going to play Victor Creel. It had been announced, and you have the characters mentioning Victor Creel. Eddie's uncle talks about how he doesn't think Eddie is guilty of Chrissy's murder because he remembers Victor Creel and the murders that he committed, and he points out those deaths are identical. So it's like, why the hell would Eddie do something like that? But of course, Creel is locked up, so the cops are like, well, what is he going to do? So I think a lot of people were expecting, since it is Robert Englund, for him to just be this total mastermind kind of character. It's like, no, he is a father who was falsely accused of vicious murder, and he is traumatized, and he just, he wants nothing more than basically to die and go be with his wife and daughter and what he thinks his son's dead.
Right. And I mean, that guy saw some stuff.
Yeah,
he saw some stuff. He saw his wife do exactly what Chrissy did, which would right in front of his family at the dinner table, and he has no idea that it was his son that did it. Which we find out later it was one was doing that. So, but yeah, it's kind of sad.
Credit to the cinematographers about when you rewatch it and you know what's actually happening and you watch the way the family's reacting, you never actually see Henry's reaction.
Right.
So, you see their daughter screaming, you see the mother freaking out, you see Victor having hallucinations, but it's not till later you realize, oh my God, I never actually saw Henry experiencing anything. Mm-hmm. But then when you watch it again, you go, clever.
Yep. Indeed.
Yeah. Oh, I should have mentioned during the Satanic Panic part that I wrote down here on the notes when Jason, the jock boyfriend, is riling up his crew about the Satanic Panic and how they're going after the Hellfire Club. Psycho Killer by the Talking Heads is playing in the background. Yes. Again, I love the soundtrack to the series.
Yeah, they make some great choices. It's cool to see them. I know we'll probably talk about the trailer for season 5, maybe at the end of this, but they've got the money now to really pull some memorable tracks. Season 4, we're well into them being a very popular series and able to pull some great tracks out for the whole soundtrack at all, and overall. But yeah, that Satanic Panic stuff you were talking about, and watching Jason not only rile up he's riling up the townspeople as well. And when he came in at the first episode, I think it was, where he comes in there and he grabs a mic and he does, credit to whoever this actor is, and what they had him do. But, every time he would grab the mic and he would just make this riling speech about
whether it's riling up for the basketball game or convincing the town to go after the Hellfire Club.
Yep. He has some power, and then he goes off the rails a little bit.
This is a kid who, if everything had gone according to plan, probably would have gone into local politics. You could see him becoming a mayor or something if he got older.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's got the charisma. He's got the looks. He's a good-looking kid.
Yep.
So, but yeah, and I also think it's interesting how the series presents ways we cope with trauma. Because you have Max, who is dealing with what happened to Billy, her stepbrother, in the previous season, and that she blames herself for it. Jason can't blame anyone, but he can't look at himself. He has to look out at the Hellfire Club. When he's told Chrissy was buying drugs, he refuses to believe it.
He did not believe that at all. No way.
No, he's just like, no, they're to blame, and I'm taking out my trauma on them. And he goes full friggin' psychopath. He convinces his teammates to go buy weapons at one of those, alt-right stores.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's what we call
them.
What
was
nowadays.
The name of it? War something.
Warzone, something like that.
The Warzone. Yeah, you're hitting on something there that this season definitely features. The dealing with trauma and guilt. You have 11 kind of reliving the whole lab. She blamed herself for the longest time as to what happened to the rest of the people there. And then as she re-experiences it, she realizes that she wasn't to blame. You mentioned Max's guilt over Billy. Vecna feeds on this. This is what he feeds on. Mm-hmm. You gotta confront that pain in order to kind of try and get past it. And a lot of these people are trying to, or they're just trying to dull it. Chrissy with the drugs, she's trying to just be like, okay, whatever you can give me so I can forget or not have these visions, please. But anyway, so that's it's definitely a theme that's touched on a lot this season.
So we got Eddie, who's on the run from the cops because Well, the cops obviously don't know about the upside down. They, everything that has happened between Barb, between the Starcourt Mall, just all of that. It's all been blamed on other, circumstances.
Yeah, and believable circumstances.
Exactly. So, you got a dead cheerleader in the trailer of a known outcast and drug dealer. So,
Yep.
you're going to point the finger at. Sorry.
Right.
So he's on the run, getting help from the rest of the Hellfire Club. Well, the few that are left in Hawkins, because again, Lucas is now with the basketball team. Although thankfully he does eventually realize, what, this is insane. I'm going back with my friends. And Mike is in California visiting Elle for spring break, where he gets to watch her get her revenge on the bully who was driving her nuts. And I don't care how wrong it is to respond to that kind of stuff with physical violence. When Angela got the roller skate on across the face,
right on the nose there,
I jumped and said, yes. Like, I'm sorry, for every student who got picked on, who got bullied, who got physically, thrown around by those assholes in high school, that was an amazing moment.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. She picks that skate up, and she, this is like the second or third time she's been embarrassed by Angela. And mind you, she was trying to tell Mike, like, yeah, Angela's my best friend or something like that. And then, all this goes down where she embarrasses her again at the skating rink, and she picks up a skate and plants it squarely right across the bridge of her nose, knocks her out. Well, down for sure. And she's bleeding all over the place. And then you're just sitting there like, is 11 going to go to jail?
Yeah. Sorry, it's like, sweetie, we all agree that with what you did, but the fact is you just committed assault.
And they didn't take off running after that. They sat there and waited because they weren't going to go anywhere. They had to wait for the authorities. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, my goodness, poor Mike too. He just showed up there to hang out with his girlfriend, and she's off committing assault.
And poor Will, who's stuck as a third wheel during all of this, when it has become abundantly clear who he's really got feelings for.
Yeah, and that's kind of heartbreaking, because as we progress throughout this, even though he loves Mike, he starts to realize that, obviously he doesn't have feelings for me. He loves Elle. And
he's straight,
Yeah. So there's finally a moment in this season where he has to just be like, okay, as crushing as it is to me, he has to be there for Elle, and he finally just understands, like, okay, Mike is definitely in love with Elle, and he's the heart. That's what he tells him. This is all, when Elle's having her fight with Vecna, he's, Mike, you're the
heart of the gang. Yeah.
You're the heart of the group. You need to talk to her. You need to tell her how you feel. So anyway, but yes, watching Will, which I don't know, did we have any like inclination that this was going to happen in season 3? I don't remember. I don't recall that.
We talked about it briefly. The idea in season 3, we felt it was painted more that Will was a late bloomer. You get the scene where he fights with them because Lucas and Mike are complaining about Max and Elle breaking up with them. Dustin's got his girlfriend, Susie, in a long distance relationship, and Will just wants to play Dungeons and Dragons, and the guys don't want to. And Mike's like, it's not our fault you don't like girls. And again, we all know people who have been late bloomers who just did not get into dating or wanting to, the more tween and teen stuff until much later. And that's fine. That kind of stuff happens. It happens when it happens. But yeah, now we're getting more of a realization he was never into girls because he's gay.
Right.
Now the actor Noah Shipp has come out. He is gay as well. And so, but that scene is so painful when he's telling him that in the car, showing him the painting, and he looks away and he is sobbing.
Yeah.
And it's not just like trying, and he knows he cannot reveal to Mike why he's crying. He's got to keep him on this path to Elle. And his heart is so shattered by this. You know, I mean, like you pointed out, it's not just, well, Mike's straight, so obviously he's never going to have feelings for me. It's, I have to convince him to go be with someone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, that is just so painful.
I think that really the only kind of bright side to that is Jonathan, who is riding in the car when that happens. He knows something's up.
Mhm.
His big brother knows something's up. And this is the 80s. Okay. This is the mid 80s. This isn't something where, you know, readily accepted at all among high school kids. This is something
Robin mentions that in the first episode.
Right.
She mentions this girl in her band that she's got, or in the high school marching band that she's got a crush on. And she's, because Steve's encouraging her to go ask her out. And what's the lines like? You don't get it. You go ask a girl out. She says, no, you're fine. I ask a girl out. She says, no, I'm the town pariah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got to really feel for what Will's going through. And it's good to see that Jonathan recognizes it. And there is a kind of a nice payoff at the, like, let's see, the second to last episode or the last episode where, you know, Jonathan comes to him and says, look, Jonathan knows he's been off having a good time, smoking weed and not really paying attention to a lot of what's going on, especially with his brother, and just essentially trying to cope. And
I think Jonathan has picked up that his brother is gay.
Yes. Yeah. And they have that moment there when they're in the pizza shop and he's like, hey man, you know, I just want you to know, you know, pretty much tell him I love you for who you are. And they have that great embrace and Will's crying. And it's, I hate to see Will go through what he's going through, but the thing is that he's, you know, it's good to see that his brother's not shunning him for this, which could have,
says something like, there is literally nothing that could ever make me stop loving you.
Right.
You know, Jonathan knows, and he is telling Will, it doesn't matter. I accept you for who you are. And if you ever need to talk to me, you know,
he's
big
there.
Brother here, and I will always be there for you.
Yeah.
And that's a great scene.
Love it. Love it. You want me to tell you what I don't love?
What don't you love?
I don't love them trying to make me think that they're going to ship Steve and Nancy again.
That is confusing. Okay, so yeah, so they're dating long distance, and the plan is for them to go to college together. But Jonathan admits in a conversation with Argyle that he actually wants to stay in town and be close because after what happened with his family, with his younger brother, he does not feel comfortable moving away from them. But he doesn't know how to tell this to Nancy because he's worried that if he does that, she will drop her dreams and try to move to be near him. And so we get quite a bit in this season where Nancy and Steve are paired up again because they're still in Hawkins. And it's clear that they still have feelings for each other. When, you know, Steve gets dragged underwater by the vines connecting to the gate, Nancy does not wait. She is right in the water after him.
Right in.
Yeah, and we get Steve's shirtless scene, to which I'm sitting like, okay, who wrote that in? Was it who fought for the shirtless scene? Was it just like, I just want to know, was it the writer directors who said let's see him topless, or was it the actor who plays Steve who said, you know what, I've been working out, I want to show off my pecs.
Time to show them off. Yeah, and I remember when my second rewatch here, I could not remember how much they leaned in to them having feelings for each other. For some reason, I felt like it was just like one or two little scenes. And the last time I watched it, and then I realized, no, that's not the case. There are some real significant moments where these two are kind of together, and you can tell that there's a possibility that they may not, they may actually get together or something like that. And I'm like, no, I don't know why, but in my heart of hearts, there's no way you could convince me that Nancy should be with Steve. She should be with Jonathan, no matter what. But in real life, I'm sure what they're trying to get across is that, there are circumstances that can keep these two apart. But anyway, I feel like at the end of this, my feelings were, at least by the end of the season, I feel like I'm a little bit more confident that it's Jonathan and Nancy are going to still be together. So I'm hoping that we don't play with that anymore. I don't want to see it anymore. I don't want to see any of that in season 5. I really don't. I don't know. Did you like it? Did you mind?
I didn't mind it per se because I felt that this, it worked within the story.
Okay.
But I mean, I always kind of felt like the way they broke up was a little iffy because I mean, she basically called him out while she was drunk. And she and he got all butthurt about that, and then she went to go be with Jonathan. But I think it all depends. I mean, obviously the college thing is out the question because they kind of have to deal with the apocalypse now.
Yeah. I was gonna say these two haven't really. They're obviously working through some stuff. Jonathan and Nancy, they're working through some stuff. They're long distance relationship, so that's usually got its barriers, especially in '86. You got a long distance. Long distance calls cost a little bit back then.
Yeah, so it's letters take a while to mail across the country.
Yeah, so you can't, I guess, blame them for drifting apart. But again, yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, just like you said, college is kind of out of the question. So it's Jonathan and Nancy. Yeah, they should have no reason not to be together in season 5. That's for sure.
I do love how much Steve is still part of the group, still willing to help. Robin, of course, is now with them. Robin is a freaking genius.
Love her.
We have the scene where they're trying to figure out how to track down Reefer Rick because they know that Eddie's probably crashing with him. And she gets the bright idea to look at the past video rentals of the various Ricks in town until she finds one who's rented multiple Cheech and Chong movies.
Yeah. When you got 2 Cheech and Chong movies on your list, okay, yeah, that dude's a stoner.
Yeah, no kidding. Nobody rents 2 Cheech and Chong movies unless they're getting high to them.
Oh, that's right. That is right.
And even then, Nancy is so take charge because she's an investigative reporter. This is what she wants to do with her life. And then poor Steve's like, always the babysitter, always the goddamn babysitter.
and it's fun to watch Robin and Nancy kind of work together at first because Nancy is kind of tired of her stuff at the beginning of things. And then they kind of, they start to grow. They start to grow as a team, I guess you would say. But watching them at the beginning, you're just like, Nancy could barely stand Robin because Robin is just so flighty and just so chatty. But anyway, fun stuff. Fun to watch the dynamics between these characters. I love it.
Definitely. I just love how all of these characters work together. Again, we get so many great moments in this season. Again, we talked about it earlier, but we have Max who is taken by Vecna and she's about to die when they get the headphones on her and Kate Bush starts blasting and we literally see her running to the portal, thinking about all the good memories in her life to running up that hill. And there's a reason that song went to #1 on Spotify and UK playlist. It was like the go-to song of that year.
Yeah.
Everyone was playing it. Everyone loved it. It's like, and yeah, I remember, what was it like? I actually remember saying the real winner of 2022, Kate Bush.
That's right. That song was released in 1985. And I just, it blows my mind that, well, I shouldn't say that because in the history of film and TV, this is a thing where a television show will make something or a movie will make a song very popular. The only other one that I can think of that got as popular as this one is Bohemian Rhapsody during the Wayne's World back in 92, 91, 92, where Bohemian Rhapsody had been out forever by Queen and Wayne's World all of a sudden featured it, and that thing was just being played everywhere. Kate Bush was the exact same thing. I
got one more example of that.
Okay.
Hooked on a Feeling, Guardians of the Galaxy trailer.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. That whole soundtrack really brought back a lot of great songs. Yeah, so that's a good one. Again, this is something that you can see because if it's a good movie, it doesn't matter if a lot of people saw it, if it's good or if it's associated with a great moment in a movie. The Wayne's World thing is just them driving down the road, lip syncing it and headbanging, which is hilarious. It's probably one of the funniest parts of the movie.
I can't hear that song and not headbang. Tell me you have to headbang when they come to the bridge.
Oh yeah, you got to.
If you actually, I'm not really a music major, so I don't know if you would call that part the bridge or not.
No,
I
I have
don't
no
know.
idea.
I think I've asked my dad before. It's like, so what part of Bohemian Rhapsody would you consider the chorus, and what part would you consider the bridge? That song
Right.
needs to be like analyzed, how you would put it into common song structure.
Right. But yeah, that Kate Bush running up the hill was associated with that moment where Max is essentially fighting for her life. She is on the verge of becoming, she's about to be broken by Vecna. She's going to end up like Chrissy. Like, what was the other guy's name that
Fred.
got killed?
And
Fred.
I remember the third guy on the basketball team who dies in Lover's Lake. I can't remember his name, but in fairness, they didn't really develop him that much. They didn't talk about his past trauma except for a scene where Lucas mentions he came to class with a black eye.
Right.
So he was clearly being abused at home, but we don't see his trauma unfold the way we do with Chrissy and Fred. And I'm just going to take a wild guess and say they cut that for time.
That's a possibility. So, yeah, but yeah, it's you watch her hover there, and it's Steve, it's Dustin and Lucas down there just screaming bloody murder, trying to figure out what they're going to do because they know she's about to die.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that she comes back, I'll never forget watching that, when we were watching these episodes the first time, and just how my whole family, it was just sucked into the TV right there.
Yes.
I mean, you were not taking your eyes off of what was happening. And that's why I think that's probably up there for top moments of this season and of this series for me. I know I've told you many times that this is my favorite season. When you see that, you hear Kate Bush hitting, that was one of the most iconic moments of this series by far. And because you don't know if she's going to make it out of that. And thank God she does by the end of that episode. She's able to get out of Vecna's grasp at that time.
I think that's what makes a lot of people say that this is their favorite season. And even I'll admit, when I say season 3 is my favorite season, I think they're all kind of my favorite seasons. There are no bad moments for me with Stranger Things, with the exception of maybe that one episode in season 2 with 11 finding 8, and we talked about that when we reviewed season 2, plug, about especially because we brought up, was that supposed to lead to the idea that there were more kids out there with powers? And then you get to this season and you go, oh, they were all dead. Oops. Mm-hmm. So again, it's so that makes the whole scene with 8 even more pointless.
True. It's true.
But there is one more musical number in this season that we do need to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, there is.
Master of Puppets, That's most metal rock concert of all time.
My gosh. So, okay. How this season, and this is probably another, if not the moment that actually solidifies this as my favorite season. Watching Eddie Munson get introduced, me not liking him at first, then I'm kind of like, okay, this guy ain't too bad. Then realizing that he's kind of a coward. He's actually this big, boisterous DM, which, boy, if you played role-playing games, sometimes you can't stand the DM. And Eddie Munson would be a tough DM to actually try and be like, man, am I coming back to this game next week?
True, but he does have the passion. I love watching the scenes of him leading and talking about as he leaves the hood and he has one eye with, by the way, with Lady Applejack. I promised I would bring it.
Oh, very nice.
This is a limited edition Stranger Things upside down Applejack with reverse colors. Applejack is usually orange with yellow hair and red apples on her cutie mark.
Yeah.
Not this one. This is Stranger Things edition.
Well, after this episode, I'm going to have to screenshot that and send it to my daughter. She would love that.
Oh, I'll just take awesome. You want me to just take a picture and send it to you?
Oh, yeah, do that.
That'd probably be easier.
I'll forward it to her.
Now, but before, I have to bring this up because someone brought this up after the episode aired, and I actually clipped this discussion because I think this is how important this is to discuss.
Okay. All right.
So they confirmed that this episode takes place on the 26th of March in 1986. That they actually showed the dates and everything. Yep. Master of Puppets the album was released on March 3rd of 1986. which means Eddie learned that complicated guitar solo in less than 23 days.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. And and everyone's like, well, that's unbelievable. I'm like, not for Eddie. It's not.
Yeah.
That's just the awesomeness of Eddie.
It is the most metal thing that I had seen in quite a while. This guy, like I said, he even kind of goes through this growth of being a coward. He even says, he's scared. He ran when Chrissy was hanging in midair. He ran away. So that's talked about quite a bit. And he gets this moment where he has to be the bait. He has to draw these demo bats. I don't know what the hell they're called, but these.
There is actually a D&D monster that is parallel to those. I'm trying to remember what they're called, like a striker, something like that.
Okay.
Forgive me, I haven't played D&D in I don't know how long, and I constantly get a lot of the creatures and monsters mixed up. So
yeah. Well, he gets up on top of the trailer and he lets loose with the solo for Master of Puppets. So I've got to say this. I mean, I've got to talk about this for real quick, just to bring it up. So my son has become a very, very novice guitar player because of Eddie Munson. And the very first song, or at least part of a song that he's learned, was Master of Puppets. I cannot tell you how many times I would walk past the bathroom while Caleb was getting a shower and he would turn the Echo Dot on and you would hear him go, "Hey, play Master of Puppets." And it would start playing Metallica for the rest of his shower. But yeah, he became a novice guitar player and he has learned parts of Master of Puppets. He can get the beginning down. I don't think he's got anywhere near to where he's good enough for a solo. But that alone spurred, it's so interesting because my son is, he's 15 right now. No, yeah, 15. I was about to say 16. He's 15. The fact that he was inspired by this character to go and pick up a musical instrument just blows my mind. I can't play a musical instrument to save my life. I can prompt one, but I can't.
I used to play clarinet, guitar, and bass guitar. Have not picked them up in millennia. I can't even read music anymore. I have lost that ability, which is so weird because my parents are both amazing musicians. It's like, how the hell did I get that gene skipped? Side note, sturge, the hybrid of a bat and a giant mosquito that feeds on blood and is typically encountered in swarms. That's what those things are, sturges.
Nasty.
Very.
They are scary and they are very, there's a lot of them. But yeah, so that incredible metal moment happens. And then Eddie gets his hero moment when they start flooding into the trailer and they decide, okay, Dustin's like, let's get the hell out of here. Because that's their passageway to the regular world.
How trippy is it, by the way, the whole you climb up into the upside down and you flip.
Yeah, I love that. That was a great element of this. And the fact that they could throw the sheets through there and it would, it was taut all the way.
Yeah, I know. Cool. Like when you see with those OWO players with the snake rope charmer thing, it's hilarious.
Yeah. So Dustin gets the hell out of there, and then Eddie realizes that he has to stick around, and he decides to stick around and lead these bats off out of there. And what a moment! What a hero arc! He doesn't run. There's a moment where he and Dustin they're all gearing up. They're making their weapons and stuff, and I think it's Steve that says something to him, and he's like, Eddie looks over at Dustin and goes like, what do we look like, a couple heroes? Yeah,
he tells them, play the music, get to the portal, get out, don't try to be a hero. And Eddie goes, we are not heroes. But he thinks back to what happened with Chrissy, and he talks about how he didn't know what to do and he ran. And I don't know, I don't equate running with what happened with Chrissy with cowardice. He just watched the most popular cheerleader in the world who he had bonded with and was friends with, not like close friends, but he had bonded with her enough that that moment of him pulling the guitar pick necklace saying, Chrissy, this is for you, still gets me.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was a brilliant moment. And he thinks back to him running. I'm like, yeah, I'm like 90% sure that's the reflex for most of us when we see something that fucked up.
Oh yeah.
We run. I don't, that's not cowardice. That is just
it's you either fight or flight. Really, there's nothing to fight there. You just need to get the hell out. And if he had a rational thought in his head, he's probably thinking to himself, like, well, what is this going to look like? I could call the cops and say, hey, yeah, this girl just showed up and I was selling her drugs. And oh, yeah, by the way, all her bones are broken. Don't know how that happened. That isn't going to go well with the cops anyway. So,
yeah, it's fight, flight, freeze, or fawn.
Okay.
Those are the 4 ones. And it's like, well, you don't see what to fight.
Yeah, you have.
I don't know if you're going to freeze or not, and there's nothing to fawn towards. So it's like, no, I'm pretty sure we're all going to get the hell out of that damn trailer.
Get out, right? Well,
but yeah, he has that moment where he's starting to run, and he remembers back to saying how he ran and how he's a coward, and it's like, nope, I'm going to stay and I'm going to draw the bats, and I'm going to, take as many down with me as I can. But that leads to the most crucial discussion.
okay.
You know where this is going.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Because there are a lot. Because first of all,
theories abound.
Yeah. As Alistair said, but do tell me the theories. I'd love to hear them. But there is a popular one, and it is brought up because when the boys and Lady Applejack are playing Dungeons and Dragons in the beginning, and Eddie mentions the return of Vecna, you hear one of the boys say, no, Kaz killed him. Now, if you are familiar with your D&D lore, you know that Kaz is a loyal servant of Vecna's, who was a normal person until he was turned into a vampire.
Okay.
And then became Vecna's loyal servant until he eventually rose up and killed him. And what is the creature that attacks and kills Eddie?
Yeah.
A bat.
That's right.
And what does Eddie have tattooed on his arms? He's got bat tattoos. You see him when he shows his tattoos off to Chrissy. He is tattooed. You also briefly see them during the D&D session when he's rolled up his sleeves a little bit. So if Joseph Quinn is coming back for season 5, there has been no hint, no mention. There is no pictures of him from the set. He has not done any interviews or talked about it. He's been promoting Fantastic Four. He is not listed as coming on. The most recent trailers have dropped, and there is no sign of him. But the fans have made it clear they want Eddie to come back.
Oh, yeah.
He was easily like I said, I wasn't exaggerating when I talked about him being the greatest character to come on this show. Eddie was a voice for a lot of people. Joseph Quinn played him perfectly. He made that role so iconic. So I still can't believe that Joseph Quinn's British.
I mean, wow.
Yeah, he is.
Wow.
Nailed that American accent.
Yeah.
And again, Eddie talks a lot about not wanting to stand in, not wanting to blend in, about wanting to stand out. He talks about how he takes pride in being a nonconformist. He's the one who leads the D&D group and openly flaunts it, calling it Hellfire. When he teases the jocks, he goes, like a demon. He listens to Metallica, and he's got all of that hard, heavy metal, the patches, the rings, those big gothy metal rings. He's got long curly hair. Fans loved him for that. So many of us, we love the character who is not just a nonconformist, but the proud nonconformist.
Right.
And they have said flat out they want him to come back. And I'm just going to say this, I do not presume to speak for the Duffer Brothers. I am not associated with them in any way. But the way the breadcrumbs have been set up, mentioning Kaz, having the Sturge as the bats bite him and drain his blood to kill him. If these are not breadcrumbs leading to Eddie's return as a servant of Vecna in season 5, I may have to kill someone.
Well,
I'm off my soapbox. You can talk.
you were saying, I think that they already had a plan on how this was ending and how things were going to be revealed. So it is very likely that they understood what they were doing leading up to our finale here, even in season 4. Let me just tell you how I feel, because I have no idea what they're going to do. I wouldn't be surprised. I'll tell you that much. This season, this is the only season for some reason that my son Colton, he's 12, this was the only season that he rewatched with us. He didn't watch season 1, 2, and 3, but as soon as season 4 hit, he was like, I'm watching this with you guys. Eddie dies, and Colton looks at me and goes, Caleb's saying he's coming back next season, whatever. And I'm like, dude, I said, you might want to look into that. Grab take about a 5-minute YouTube jaunt and check out the theories here, because it seems very plausible. Now, for myself, though, I don't know if I want that to happen. I mean, so you talked about the lore there. He comes back as the servant. Does he redeem himself at any point in the story you were talking about with D&D, this other person that he's going to be modeled off of or whatever? Or is he just a servant of Vecna? Because I don't want evil Eddie, which, by the way, I feel
yes, Kaz originally served the villain, broke free, and turned against him.
Okay. So
I would like to add, I am reading this off of Google. I have never played D&D with Vecna's backstory. I was not familiar with the character until I started talking with other fans of the series, and they pointed this out to me. So if I'm getting something wrong, it's what I'm reading. I am not a D&D expert.
Right. So, okay, as long as he has if he comes back evil and has a redemption arc, then great. Okay, I'm okay with that. I feel like that's going to be... No, I think they could pull it off. I was about to say that was going to be a pretty long arc that they're going to have to fit into one season. And I was like, you know what? They could do it. They've done it. They've done it with other people, I'm sure. So if he does come back, I can't wait. I want him back. But I also want him to have, he had a great heroic ending in season 4. If he comes back in season 5, I do not want him to be an evil guy that we have to kill. I don't want that to happen, because I don't want to see...
You don't want his death to have been meaningless.
Right. And my gosh, how much did your heart break for Dustin having to deal with the fact that he watched his friend choose to sacrifice himself and die? And then he had to break the news to his uncle.
Oh my God, I got teary-eyed when Dustin pulls the guitar, the pick necklace out, and credit to the actor who's got the trembling lip and he's starting to cry. This season, I actually cried a lot. I cried. We've been talking for an hour and 20 minutes. How the hell have we not talked about Joyce and Hopper?
Oh yeah. I mean, really, that whole storyline. I mean, we have essentially 3 storylines that are happening here. Just like you said, we got Mike, L, and Will, and Schmacken out there in out there in California. We got the Hawkins crew, Hawkins / Upside Down crew, and then we have Hopper and Joyce on this Russian mission. Which, by the way, top 5 moment for me is Murray with the flamethrower, black belt Murray. All right, all of a sudden has he is such a force in this season, and to where we get to the last episode, he just lays out a bunch of Demogorgons and Demo Dogs with the flamethrower. It's great. But yeah, Hopper and Joyce finally reuniting. Hopper's alive, folks.
Hopper's alive. He's in a gulag. He manages to bribe a guard to get word to Joyce that he's alive, and then it's basically get me money and I will take care of it. They mention it briefly. I think the money is like a trust for L.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think that's where the money comes from, because I mean, there's no way in hell that Joyce has just got 40 grand sitting around in her, bank account. So I think that's where they got it. And yeah, you have this whole scene, and then you find out that the pilot has betrayed them, and they're not out of the woods yet. And now Hopper and the guard have to face down the Demodog. And that great scene of all the prisoners being given food, and they think they're given us strength to fight because they want to show. And Hopper explained to him, no, they're not. We are going to die.
Yeah, they're going to feed us to it so it can get the nourishment that we are taking in right now.
Amazing fight sequence. Side note, that fight sequence was actually very little CGI. While the dude in the mocap suit, obviously, they had the Demogorgon placed over him. The guards flying all over the place was mostly wire work.
Oh, no kidding. Wow.
Yeah, looked great. This show is a pinnacle for practical effects, and God love them for it.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, they have poor Joyce and Murray going all the way to Alaska, and then trying to go to Russia and being betrayed by Yuri. You have the wonderful scene of Joyce and Hop finally freaking hooking up when they're changing clothes, and it's so cute because they're talking about their date, and Hop's like, "Yeah, I've been dreaming about the breadsticks and the lasagna," and she's like, "What?" And he goes, "I have been feasting off of watery soup, moldy bread, and maggots for months."
Ugh, so nasty.
Yeah, it's like, no, he wants freaking lasagna. But oh my God, it's so cute to see them finally get together. And it's a great scene. I love all of the extras. I love the guy playing the guard, who was on Game of Thrones for a while. Is a terrific actor, German born. I love his sequences. I love the scene when he watches Hop speed off on the snowmobile and it goes 100 to 1. Son of a bitch.
Right. Yeah.
And the scene of them planning that Hop actually tricks the guard to beating him up so he can steal his thing of vodka and the lighter so they can actually have something to fight the Demogorgon.
Right. He knows what they're getting into. Yeah, I love how they break out of the prison and then they're like, well, we got to help out the kids, and the easiest way to do this is to break back into the prison. And then face off with these things. And yeah, man, it's ruthless. You watch this Demogorgon make, like, not only is it just one, they are harvesting, or I don't know, there's a bunch of them in tanks that have either escaped, but by the time that they reach back into the prison, like, all hell's broken loose.
They have a piece of the Mind Flayer shadow, like, swirling right. It kind of reminds me of that one scene in one of the Fantastic Beasts movies where they talk about the dark, the way a wizard's power, if they don't use it, it kind of consumes them. And you see it's a very similar design, just a very crazy moving black shadow.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's definitely crazy looking, that's for sure. So they get back in there, and we have there's I think it's like 2 to 3 minutes sequence where they do a reprise of Kate Bush is running up that hill.
Yes.
While the final battle is raging for all three people. We got Hopper, who is facing off with a Demogorgon and picks up a sword and, I mean, just straight up barbarian fight against this Demogorgon, and it's great. We have our Upside Down crew, which, by the way, pistol packing Mama Nancy with a shotgun, and Robin.
Yeah, Nancy with the guns again.
You look at the trailer for season 5; she's got she's got a machine gun, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this girl keeps leveling up. But yeah, they're over in the Upside Down, and they're facing off with, like, the physical body of Vecna.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
While Vecna, in his spiritual realm, is fighting against Elle and trying to kill Max.
Yeah.
While Elle is in the deprivation tank and has Mike shouting, "Elle, I love you. I can't lose you."
Yeah, it is I watched it 2 times before we got on here tonight because that sequence is just so good. Poor Max, though. We ought to talk, mention what happens with Max, because Vecna gets a hold of her again, and she doesn't walk away with this unscathed.
Yeah, her heart. Okay, they don't explain what happened, but I'm assuming her heart stopped from the trauma of her broken bones. and
Yeah,
everything,
he's
which can
trying to
happen.
do
Your body can go under enough enough stress that it just stops.
Yeah, like he is trying to sacrifice. Like he has to get to 4 people. Is that what it is?
Yep.
Like he has to kill 4
Four,
people.
4 chimes on the clock, 4 deaths, 4 gates.
Yeah. So that I assume what he's planning on doing, because what we see the result of this is like stuff starts to break down between the barrier between the upside down and the real world starts to break down. Massive gates start opening up. And so anyway, she ends up dying, but Elle is like, no, this isn't going to happen. You're not going to die. So she brings her back to life, but she is not good shape, folks. It's not like mentally she was defeated. She had broken arms. I think when we see her in the hospital later, both her arms are broken, broken legs, and Elle steps into her mind while she's at the hospital, and there's nothing there. So I don't know. I don't want to call her brain dead because they don't use that term, but she's not in there. And you kind of wonder.
That's what it looks like. I mean,
right.
She was dead and her brain was deprived of oxygen for at least like a minute or 2. Yeah. So unfortunately that often happens. If, the heart stops, then stops getting stuff to the brain and the brain can't function without oxygen. So
right. So we're kind of, and that's not resolved by the end of the season. She is still in the hospital and she is potentially brain dead. So it's kind of scary. So Max, even though she lived, what kind of life is it?
And we don't know what's going to happen. Again, the trailers have dropped and we've gotten a few clues as to what we're looking at, but they have been very careful not to reveal anything too major, and God bless them for it, because you and I hang out with enough people who love to overly dissect trailers, and if they had spoiled something for me, it's like
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's actually a couple YouTube channels that I like watching that they do that over analyzing, take apart. They will like freeze frame to look for special little things for trailers and stuff. I refuse to watch any of the videos they're doing on the season 5 Stranger Things trailer. I was like, no, I do, because I swear to God, if you say you see something for Kaz, I'm going to be so pissed because I won't be surprised.
Yep. For sure.
But yeah, this season is amazing. It has so many moments in it that are going to last in your mind. Again, we talk about shows that have moments that you will always, always remember as you get older. The scenes in TV, the scenes from your favorite shows that everyone still remembers, like, where were you when, when this happened? Where were you when this happened? And I think we're all going to remember where we were the first time we watched Max listening to Running Up That Hill and escaping the Upside Down.
Oh yeah. That's it. That again, I've praised it already enough. Those moments make this season and this series one to watch. And season 5 has a lot to live up to, because season 4 was phenomenal in my opinion. Like I said, I think it's the Infinity War prior to the Endgame, and I don't know if it's going to resonate like that did, because Infinity War, there's a lot of argument that Infinity War was way better than Endgame. When you look at like what happened.
Yeah, so, I was gonna say, it's like, are we gonna come back and go, wow, you weren't kidding?
there was some moments in Endgame, that's for sure. Cap picking up the hammer and all that, but man, Infinity War was so good. So season 5 hopefully will be able to exceed our expectations and will be great. A great way to send this off. I mean, I understand we've got to. What is the phrase? All good things come to an end.
Yeah.
So, we got to be prepared.
There's no way in hell that anyone's going to confuse these kids for high schoolers anymore.
Right. We'll get, at some point, I don't know. I don't know how things, because we really haven't. We've been really, jazzed about this series. There's been some rough, my goodness, what's the best way for me to put this? Some news about Millie Bobby Brown and David Harbour. I don't know. I'm sure you've probably seen that. So it's kind of, I don't know if this crew will be back together again after this ever, like a reunion show or something like that, because of all that's going on. Who knows? But regardless, it's good that we got season 5 in here, and I can't wait for it.
It is. There's been a lot of Hollywood gossip lately. Unfortunately, there's a lot swirling around David Harbour, who is going through a apparently very nasty divorce.
Oh,
with his wife. She apparently accused him of cheating on her. So, but I don't get a lot into celebrity gossip. I used to try to avoid that kind of stuff anymore. So, but yeah, it's got to end. This is all going to be wrapped up by New Year's Day.
New Year's. Oh man, I might have to
only
take
got 2 more videos to do.
I have to take some time off after that just to recover. I tell you.
Oh, you get that. I don't. I still got to find time for It, Welcome to Derry, and Wednesday season 1 and 2.
Oh my goodness. Sheesh.
Yeah. You were still interested in doing It, Welcome to Derry, right?
Yeah. I'll be in there for sure.
All right. Yeah, we're going to keep that in January, so we've got a little bit more breathing room. But it's probably going to be you, me, Kat, and Ben. Actually,
I saw that. Yeah, Benjamin chimed in and said he'd like to be a part of that, so that'd be great.
Yeah, I'd love to have him on. We don't get him nearly enough. Still always remember when we reviewed The Last Ronin together, and I cracked a joke from Tiny Toons. I was like, "Yes, you got the joke."
Ben's a good guy. I love him.
Yeah. Similar thing when we reviewed Superman, because you get to the scene where you find out that Luther's got the typing monkeys doing all of the internet, flame war on Superman. And to which Robert said, it got all those monkeys typing. It was the best of times. It was the blurst of times. And you saw Ben and me both just go, waiting for it. Because and we both were like, Robert, if we were waiting for you to make that joke, because of course he is the go-to Simpsons guy.
Guy. Right.
And we're like, and then we were both sitting there going, the minute we saw that movie, we're like, and Robert will make a joke about it was the blurst. It's like
I was once invited. Actually, I think I was part of, and then I dropped out. Where Robert and Benjamin were going to get together and talk Treehouse of Horror, and I was like, I've got to drop out tonight. Not mostly because of some kind of home thing that was going on, but I told him, I was like, besides, it would be like a man among gods here, because I understand that you guys know your Simpsons.
If they haven't done that, I would love to come back in next October to discuss that with the guys. Oh, yeah. I really would. I watch Treehouse of Horror constantly. Disney Plus had it streaming 24/7, and I must have had that on like 6 out of 7 days.
That's great.
You know what? I just like good streaming channels to have on in the background when I work, because I don't have to constantly bend over like, okay, what am I listening to now?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right. Awesome.
I knew we were going to be talking for a while, because I actually asked Google when I was trying to figure out how to break up watching this, because these are not just hour-long episodes like the last 3 seasons. A couple of these are over an hour long.
Oh yeah,
the final episode is over 2 hours long.
Yeah, the finale is 2.5, really close. And I remember when we started it, I was like, man, are we going to be able to get through this tonight? Because Colton was like, we've got to watch the final episode, and I'm like, all right, let's do it. We started at like 7 and got done at 9:30. Here's the thing, and what's done so well is that you don't feel that.
Yeah,
like other movies, TV shows, you can feel a 2.5 hour movie at some point. You do not feel that with that final episode, because it is off and running and it does not stop. It feels like, so you get a little bit of, you get a little time with the characters where they're getting prepared and they're ready to go to war, but it's, things are just happening over and over and over. So it does not feel like 2.5 hours. That's for sure.
But yeah, I asked Google, I was like, so how many hours is season 4? 13 hours of television.
Really?
Yeah. For 9 episodes.
That's, yeah. That is some hours.
Yeah. And don't forget, Duffer Brothers have confirmed that most of the episodes of season 5 are going to be at least 2 hours. These are not episodes anymore. These are mini movies.
Right.
That are all connected.
I can't wait.
I can't.
I mean, I honestly, if they can Keep it up like they have been. My biggest fear is it doesn't land like it used to. And that's always been my fear, but I've always come out going, well, they landed it. So I don't expect anything different here. I don't expect anything different. They'll land it.
I mean, I went on that whole tangent when we reviewed season 3 about, TV shows and movies fumbling at the 10-yard line and just how it's the most exasperating thing in the world.
Right.
But I have faith, every season of this show has kicked all kinds of ass. And I really think the Duffers are going to knock it out of the park. I can't wait to see what they're going to do next. I'm curious because this is really this put them on the map, I feel. And, to see what they're going to kind of do that's different. It's interesting. I started watching Pluribus over the past couple weeks. I want to see it, but I don't have Apple TV.
It's Vince Gilligan, and I'm okay. Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad, and it is different than what you might expect. So, I mean, if you saw the trailers, you could probably tell that it's obviously a little bit different than what Breaking Bad was. But the point I'm trying to make is that the Duffer Brothers did this. If they do something else, Pluribus is good. So if Vince Gilligan can go and do something that feels different or whatever and still be good, I'm sure the Duffer Brothers could do the same thing. But, I'm curious as to what it would be that they're going to do. I don't know. This feels like such, an iconic show, I guess is probably the best.
It really does.
So I don't know. We'll see what all happens. I'm really, really, really curious. I can't wait. It's going to be Thanksgiving, the night before Thanksgiving. So
you're absolutely right. Think about all the stuff that became memes and launched in popularity from the show. Think about Eggo waffles.
Right. They're just so much. It's just a show that, as in 20 years, I'm going to be able to say, yeah, hey, I was around when Stranger Things launched, and we watched them the week that they were being released. So, there's few shows that do that, and I mean, if you look at all the Netflix shows out there, I don't know what else, in my opinion, represents a Netflix show that really, really took off like this. There are probably very, very few and far between. Because I'm sure that there's probably execs that are like, okay, what's our Stranger Things? What is that going to be? What is the one show that's going to define us as a network? This is one of those shows that defines that network, in my opinion.
I would say this and Orange is the New Black are the definite Netflix identifiers.
Okay. All right. Never watched it. My wife did, though. So Mark definitely did, because I hear him reference it all the time.
Constantly.
If Netflix did The Wire.
Yeah.
Well.
Damn it, you stole my joke.
Oh, jeez.
All right. Like I said, I knew we were not going to be able to talk about everything in under an hour tonight because there was so much going on in this series. There was so much to talk about. And I hate to say, but it's probably going to be just as long when we talk about season 5, but you guys are going to have to wait a little bit. Now, like we mentioned, season 5 is premiering in chunks. We get one the day before Thanksgiving. The second chunk is on Christmas Day. The final episode will premiere on New Year's Eve. So we will be talking about season 5 in early January, after we've had some time to breathe after the holidays. In the meantime, though, since we have 1 month without anything to review, we have decided that we are going to look at a Stranger Things comic book. So next month we are going to be looking at Stranger Things meets Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't think we've got that on the calendar yet. We'll get to that, but it's going to be a lot of fun talking about a different way to look at these characters. In the meantime, we have reviewed all past seasons. If you go check the archives on YouTube, Spotify, and anywhere else you find our videos, go ahead and take a listen. Hear us talk about this. Hear us talk about how we still don't understand, all the years this show's been on the air and no one from our network reviewed it. It's like, oh my God, this has Dungeons and Dragons, horror elements, the 80s, sci-fi, government conspiracies, Winona Ryder. It's like, this has something for literally everyone in our network. How did no one else review this yet?
No kidding. I'm so glad that I got in on this because,
Me too.
again, one of my favorite shows to talk about.
Absolutely. And I'm glad we were able to do it justice. And I cannot wait for us to talk season 5. We're going to see if our theories are correct. We're going to see what happens to Hawkins. We don't know much. We know that it's in quarantine. We know the government is still looking for Elle because they honestly believe she's the one who's been responsible for all these deaths. And she's the one responsible for the gate opening. They don't know about Vecna. They just assume it's Brenner's little pet, as they keep calling her. So Elle's got to go back into hiding. We got to watch these characters deal with the aftermath of Hawkins essentially falling into the ninth circle of hell, and what they are going to do to take down Vecna once and for all as he launches his attack to go after Will, who is apparently the key, and use him to open up the gates to the Upside Down and take over the world.
Whew.
So got a lot coming up, a lot to watch. Really excited. And before that, of course, Jesse will be coming back next week to join myself and David Wright as we talk Has-Been Hotel Season 2. The series finale, or the season finale, airs tomorrow. That's the day we're recording that. So that's going to be on November 19th. I'm really excited to see it. They just did Has-Been Hotel live on Broadway with a handful of the actors going live on stage for a packed house of Has-Been Hotel fans, majority of them in cosplay.
Oh, wow.
Singing songs like Stayed Gone and Poison and Vox Populi and all of this stuff. And it's so much fun watching these actors, who most of them are actually Broadway trained, actually get on stage and start singing. And it's
cool.
A lot of fun seeing this crazy crowd of fans all singing along with them in their costumes. It's freaking hilarious seeing Christian Borle singing the opening lines of Stayed Gone to the audience, and the front row is like 90% Alistair's. That's
awesome.
It's a great video. If you find it on YouTube before someone takes it down, it's not on Amazon yet, but if you can find it, I highly recommend checking it out. Jesse, I'll send you the link if you want to check it out before.
Yeah.
It probably gets deleted. I think the guy who uploaded it probably did not do it, with full copyright, so it's not going to be there very long. But it looks like it's a lot of fun. So we'll be here next week to talk about that. I will also be joining Damn You Hollywood to talk Wicked for Good. The guys just reviewed Running Man yesterday, the 2025 Edgar Wright film. I was supposed to join them on that. Got a little overwhelmed with my work, had to bow out. But I heard they had fun reviewing what Robert described as a fairly mediocre film at best. Edgar Wright, we expected more out of you.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. So, but we're going to be doing that. And then we got Thanksgiving coming, and I think I can finally rest. 9 weeks of TV party tonight. 9 weeks binging TV. My brain has been put into a blender and set on liquefy. I turn this way, and it's going to start leaking out of my head.
You talked about some TV, that's for sure, the past couple months.
Absolutely. This is what I get for volunteering for Mark to take on more responsibilities. But yes, like I said, we've had a lot of fun like this. We're really excited with what's going to come with season 5. We're going to be talking about that comic book. We'll have the date posted here on the schedule here before too long. In the meantime, Jesse, why don't you tell the rest of our listeners where they can find you?
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, I do a comic book podcast. The feed is called the Source Material Comics feed. We got a few comic book related podcasts on there. First of which is the Source Material Comics podcast, where we talk comics of any era. Myself and Mark Radlich right now are going through Day Tripper, which is a great comic. It's essentially about moments of your life, and the central premise is about a guy who experiences moments throughout his life and dies like right after experiencing them, which is it's kind of weird, but it's a good story, and it definitely created some great discussion between me and Mark about some, our own lives. So you want to check that out. The last episode was part 1, which aired on the 10th of November. And then for the Unspoken Issues podcast, I haven't had an episode in a while. I'm working on one right now, which is the 1993 Marvel holiday special. It's just going to be a solo podcast, but there's a lot of fun stories in that. And I know that me and Evan and Chris Armstrong are getting together to talk about Pit number 1. I'm pretty sure, because the polls are going to be, we put a poll out there and Pit won pretty handily. And Evan's also been wanting to talk about a Marvel 2-in-1 featuring Ghost Rider and The Thing going on some kind of Christmas adventure. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but Evan swears by it as one of his favorite holiday stories that Marvel's put out. That'll be airing at some point here before Christmas. And then, of course, the Snap Material podcast where me and Evan Bevins get together and we talk Marvel Snap. So if you play Marvel Snap, you might be able to find, something to listen to. Just go over to YouTube or any podcatcher and type in the Source Material Comics podcast, and you should be able to find us pretty easily. And I think that, wait a second. I got to plug the triple feature that me and Mark did this past Sunday. All 3 movies I've never seen. We talked Clue, which I liked it. Wife hated it. We talked to my cousin. She hated it. She hated it.
Let us out. Let us out. Let us in. Let us in.
A lot of great dialogue in that movie. A lot of fun moments. Other movie I didn't watch and watched for the first time was My Cousin Vinny. Great movie. I liked it. And then we also talked about a movie that I had no idea existed. In 1997, there was a great courtroom comedy that came out. And it was not Liar Liar. It was called Trial and Error, starring Michael Richards and Jeff Daniels. And when I say great courtroom comedy, I am lying. It is not the greatest courtroom comedy out there. And a very, very young Charlize Theron is in that as well. So anyway, you can listen to We Grow all 3 of those movies and talk about our experience watching them. So that aired this past Sunday. That is all I have.
All right, I should probably go ahead and do the Honeysuckle Hustle. Honeysuckle Rose Creations, where fashion meets fandom at the intersection of geek and chic. We are almost ready to start our holiday rush. Our Black Friday sale kicks off, and it is going to be 25% off of everything in both of our stores. That is Etsy, and as the screen shows, handmade at Amazon. If you're a fan of Hasbin Hotel and are tuning into our shows, you can see 2 of our items right there at the top. Our Hasbin Hotel inspired charm bracelet and the Vox earrings. Vox Tech, trust us with your jewelry. Yeah, I can't sell it the way Christian Borle does. But a reminder that we're also going to be starting our charity drive. We do this every year. We're going to be tallying all the sales from Black Friday to Christmas Eve. And for every order that is placed, we will be donating $5 to St. Jude's. Again, we do this every year, and every year the donation gets bigger and bigger. So we love that you guys are coming out and showing your support. It's a wonderful charity to donate to. So go ahead and take a look at both of our stores. Again, we're on Etsy and Handmade at Amazon. I tried to get a Shopify store open by Black Friday, but there was no way in hell I had that kind of energy to not sleep that, at all. That's the way I put it. People ask me, it's like, well, why didn't you get it done? It's like, because I needed sleep.
Yeah.
It's the easiest way to put it. I love that I have to put these as game token because apparently Amazon is scared I can't use the word monopoly. Serious as a heart attack. And that's why this is wooden tile. Those are Scrabble tiles. If you know our jewelry, you know that we upcycle everything out of old game pieces. It's got Clue, Monopoly, Scrabble. I cannot use the words Monopoly or Scrabble in any of my designs. They are so paranoid. Drives me insane.
Wow.
Strangely enough, they don't have a problem with the word Clue. Knock on wood. Just reached over to knock on the wooden chair next to me. And again, that's going to be 25% off everything in our store starting on Black Friday. As always, you can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. Screw you, Twitter, not looking back. That's Honeysuckle Rose Creations, the intersection of geek and chic. So for myself, for Mr. Jesse Starcher, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to go listen to either some Metallica or some Kate Bush.